What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Young Father, All Father, right back at it with some more shit, man. Um, this video, I'm not sure if this video is gonna be long as fuck or if this video is gonna be like 5 minutes. But I'ma kinda I'ma kinda out myself on my theories surrounding religion. I'm a Christian. I grew up Christian. If I had to identify as something, I would identify as a Christian. Technically, I would identify as a Christian agnostic. Technically, but that's just me. But I totally understand anyone that may have difficulty with the texts, like reading the Quran or reading the Bible, any one of the hundreds of thousands of versions of the Bible that I'm sure that there are, or fucking like the Torah, any like holy scripture text. Because like at the dawn of time, when it was just like a black empty space and there was nothing, and something started making stuff, like even if you want to say that, like, science, you could use science to explain how the world came to be. Okay, great. I'm not gonna fucking argue nobody down about science. And I've seen some extremely convoluted theories surrounding fucking, like, there was like rainwater in a puddle of, like, I forget the word, primordial soup. I think that's what that shit said. I think that shit said primordial soup. It was like mud and water, and lightning struck it, spawning and creating an amoeba. And the cellular life underwater was like the first life. You could never track how science made the world become the way it is. Like, there was something first. Do you think that that thing would get up with niggas and write a book? No. No. Get the fuck out of here, dude. And I'm sorry that I feel that way, but like I really do kind of feel that way. And I kind of look at like God or like the higher power or like the creator, the first thing. I typically just refer to that shit as the creator. I got the utmost respect for it. I could not picture it getting up with niggas to write a book. It wouldn't do that. I was talking to somebody the other day about it too. The thing that like made our galaxy and solar system and the universe as we've discovered, not including the shit that we haven't discovered, but like the thing that made the universe as we know it, probably went like 3 or 4 creator thing footsteps over that way and made some new shit. If them shits made a ship and came here, because I believe whatever the thing made after human beings was better. Oh my God, they would be unbelievable. You can't imagine that, right? But it's like debating the first thing. Tell me how the fuck there was ever anything without the first thing. You can't do it. You can't do it. It was cells from where? It was water from where? Sound. There was something first. Period. Sorry. Bear in mind, dude, I had a long time where I was like super addicted to psychedelic drugs, man. And I remember having like several visions that like completely changed and molded like the way that I perceived like the Christian religion and just like a relationship with God as a whole. If that makes sense. Like I remember like my first trip, like I remember seeing some shit. I think it was an Adult Swim off the air video with like these super weird melty edits, designed sensory overload. It was freaking me the fuck out. I can't explain it to you. I can't describe what I watched when I sat there and looked at that shit. I ran in the bathroom and I was constantly seeing things on drugs where I would have to see it and then sit with it and determine what that meant for me. Because it's never so simple as something happens or you see something and you just know. So I seen that shit and I went in the bathroom. There were two things that I was immediately able to take away from what I had just watched on the TV. The first thing being that I felt like I needed to stop eating meat. And the second thing that I took from that video, my relationship with God was significantly more important to me than I thought it was at the time. And it was literally a video of like lava. I can't even I can't even fucking tell you what the video was. It looked fucking nuts to me though. And that was what I took from it. I had another dream. I don't know if you're familiar with Regular Show. If you've ever seen an episode of Regular Show and something goes wrong and they end up in the purple space trying to fix it. It's like a boss fight. They end up in the purple space from the fucking starting credits and end credits and they're trying to fix whatever the problem is. And then picture a clothing mannequin, right? Like Macy's, JCPenney. Clothing mannequin, like gold metallic silver, like just like a metal, like a shining metal of all hues. Perfect physique, no clothes. It's like a bipedal animal, like a human build, but it's a metal one with a perfect physique and no face and no mouth. And it's perfect. And it's like 18 feet tall. I found myself sitting in this room and there's a thing that I just described is over there and it's like standing beside this door and it's over there and I literally couldn't fucking look at it. Like I remember in the vision, like sitting there like, oh my God, like is that shit looking at me? Because it didn't have eyes. It's just like a perfect body looking at me. It stepped away from the door. The door came open. I walked up to it and I came to. Bear in mind, I wasn't asleep. This was simply just a hallucination that I had on acid. I came to the conclusion that gold metallic being, that was an angel. So I believe that one of the many creations that the creator thing made after humanity were like a bunch of different types of creatures that were way better. And those creatures, if God let them shits come down here, they would fuck it up. They would take it over. They probably have minds and psyches and ideas. But that type of creature would not talk to one of these shits. It wouldn't. It won't. I don't believe that. Do you believe that? I don't want this shit to be like, I don't want nobody to hear this shit and feel like I don't have the utmost respect for the first thing. Because the first thing, I will always have the utmost respect for the first thing. The books, dude. There were too many fucking men involved with the books. It's just hard for me. The King James Bible. How many versions of the Bible were written before the King James version of the Bible? When was King James alive? I'm sure niggas have heard of the Dead Sea Scrolls. How much of the shit from the Dead Sea Scrolls is in the Bible? The characters from religious tales that make an appearance in several different stories, like Muhammad, I'm almost positive the Prophet Muhammad was real because there's parallels in his story between so many different texts. Muhammad had motion. Muhammad was out there getting busy to where niggas knew about Muhammad, to where Christian niggas knew about Muhammad, to where his name made an appearance in their shit, and Islamic niggas knew about Muhammad to where his name made an appearance in their shit. And I believe he may have went on like a pilgrimage of suffering to find enlightenment. I believe Muhammad may have like made an appearance in some Buddhist Muhammad had motion, right? Like Muhammad was real. The characters from the religious texts that transcend their story into other ones, Those are the ones where it's hard for me to be like, okay, I don't think that was a real guy. I'm almost positive Muhammad had motion different. Everybody knew about that nigga Muhammad. He was like that. True or false? I mean, do you see what I'm saying, bro? Off the shits, I developed theories surrounding the Bible where I thought that Moses was a king somewhere. In his cabinet, they sat him down. They said, King Moses, we would like you to tell us some of the laws and rules that you would like to have implemented into our society here. And we're going to take the rule set that you give us and we're going to scribe them shits into these parables and stories. And you're going to be like a fucking superhero. And we're going to scribe these rules into parables and stories utilizing, characters that are larger than life and utilizing the fear of death and the uncertainty of the unknown. We're gonna snap scribing this shit, and everybody's gonna follow all the rules. And then when Moses passed away and his son, the next king, his cabinet did the same shit for him. And I kind of at that point thought that like it was kings delivering rule sets, the rule sets being scribed into books, utilizing manipulative tools to keep people in line. That's the conclusion that I came to at a point. It feel blasphemous to say that shit. But it's not though. It's only logical. It's not our faults if we think. How could it be blasphemous to think? And I'm not like, dude, I don't know. I don't fucking know. I need to stop fucking talking. I'm gonna hit this fucking bong, man. I'm about to fucking keep fucking talking, nigga. Fuck is you talking about? It's my day off. Young father, all father, man. Back at it. I've been doing a whole lot of rapping and shit lately. I'm trying to get back inspired. I'm trying to get back busy, man. I get into these ruts and just stop doing anything for a long ass time. I keep saying I need to get a girlfriend, bro. I have no fucking motion, bro. This shit is so ass. I remember, oh my God, bro. I remember when I was a demon, bro. I was a problem. It was crazy. I think the stage of my locks where I was like the most insecure, where like I wanted them to be longer and shit, the most awkward stage of my locks was probably when I had the most hoes. Isn't that funny? I probably would have kept and maintained that motion over the years if I hadn't found myself in like a serious relationship for a time. But back when my locks were like a very short, awkward length where I didn't like it, I always had hoes, bro. God damn, dude. I don't know what happened to me. I have fucking horrible luck on the apps, bro. I make a Tinder account and my pit's hard. And I'm not ugly. I'm not. Nigga, I make a Tinder account and then like try not to look at it and then come back to it when there's like a number over the likes. My accounts be maxing out at like 4 likes. I don't get no motion on no apps. It doesn't make sense because virtually I'm harder now. I'm significantly harder now than I was when I had max motion. Why? And I ain't saying it's too late for me. I know I could wake up, some could snap, and then I could get right back in my bag like and get evil like how I used to get evil. But I don't know what happened, bro. I don't know what happened, bro. I got old. I got too used to the mundane. I'm in a love triangle with beer and weed, and those are like my 2 loves, I guess. And that's why I don't have a fucking girlfriend. Probably, I probably need to stop fucking abusing substances. Maybe that's step 1 age. Maybe step 1, stop fucking abusing substances. Fucking dickhead. I'm never gonna stop abusing substances. I'm always gonna be smoking weed. Ooh, look at that fucking shoulder, nigga. Look at that fucking try. Ooh. Nah, I'm always gonna be smoking though. This shit like my medicine. Dude, I did a freestyle the other night. I had like wrote some raps and recorded them shits real quick and put them on YouTube and like on Instagram and shit. Man, I'm sitting there drunk as fuck right in that freestyle. And I was snapping, if you ask me. But I arrive at this point where I'm like, I'm literally talking about how I need a therapist. And when I'm stressing, I'm telling it to the beats. I had habits developing. When they told me beware of it, I was deeply ensnared. It was my peace. The line that I wrote after that, there were two lines that I wrote after that. I will never release them shits. One of my favorite artists, like from my teen years and my early 20s, like Lil Peep. I was a huge fan of Lil Peep. When you picture Lil Peep, you may, in your mind, you may hear like awful things, like corny shit. The things that he dropped, like with Marshmello, and the shit that he dropped that like the world ate up. Prior to that shit, like Peep was literally like Lil Peep and Lil Tracy, like in the trenches, bro, making like literally just Drain Gang fader, like death music. Peep way more specifically than Lil Tracy. Like Lil Peep deadass used to make like death music to where like when you had a phase in your life where you were fucked up, like I would literally abuse pills and smoke a bunch of blunts and then lay down and listen to Lil Peep. And it would be like a holistic experience because the shit that he was talking about was so relatable for where I was at the time. Like Lucky, Lil Peep, certain artists that have made like a fucking, you had to be there. And I know Lucky shows, like I've seen videos and shit of Lucky shows. I've never been to a Lucky show. My nigga D went to a Lucky show, lucky ass nigga. I've never been to a Lucky show, but I know the shows be flooded with like 15, 16-year-old white boys with vapes. They don't know what he's talking about. I was at a point in my life where the shit that these niggas that I was fucking with their music, the shit that they were rapping about, I was literally right there. You know what I'm saying? Like that, and that allowed the music to speak to me in a way that it wouldn't be able to speak to somebody that hadn't been through that shit. If you've never abused substances, like I fuck with you, like you're hard. You battled the temptation and dubbed on it. Congratulations, bro. I did not battle the temptation and win. I got fucking folded and tried everything. And the few things that I liked fucked me up for a long time, dude. One of my best friends, I blamed him for a while. I literally blamed him. Like I was like, he literally sent me down a fucked path. Like when he moved in, that fucked me up. I had to make peace with that, and I had to like accept responsibility. I would not be this dude without that shit happening to me. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. It's almost gotta be fucked. It's almost gotta be bad. The origin story. He in his villain era. I'm in my I don't even fucking know, dude. I'm in my cause I'm supposed to be in my bachelor area. Or my bachelor era, right? Fucking 20 something living alone in the city, college town. I should be a demon. I fucking suck. No, I'm not gonna tell that story. These two gentlemen that I went to high school with, one of them killed the other one. I'm not gonna say bro name. I don't really know why this shit crossed my mind, and I just told myself I'm not gonna tell that story, but I am. So there was this group of dudes, man. Um, well, first I'll talk about the one guy, the killer. Um, He used to smoke with me and my friends sometimes. I would chill with him alone from time to time. He was a little odd, you know what I'm saying? He going through stuff. You could tell, you know what I'm saying? You know when somebody, is going through stuff, and we were still relatively young. I remember one day hotboxing a blunt with this nigga, like parked behind Food Line, like just fucking sitting in his little like Honda CRV smoking a blunt. And he asked me, he like, yo, do y'all be talking shit about me like when I'm not around? And I kept it a stack with him. I was like, bro, we don't say nothing we wouldn't say like if you were there. You know what I'm saying? We don't say nothing that we wouldn't say if you were right in front of us. You know what I'm saying? Like, we joke, you know what I'm saying? But I'm sure I'm not. I've been absent one time, and somebody made a joke about Adrian's gap. You know what I'm saying? We all laughed. Like, we made fun of our friends sometimes. It's not a big deal. And then I passed him the blunt back, and I asked him why he asked that. Like, what makes you ask that? Basically, this nigga told me that, like, throughout his youth, just his whole life, every friend group he had ever been in, every friend group he ever, like, interacted with, he was just always steadily and consistently the butt of the joke. Every time. Right? Like, growing up, he was just always the butt of the joke. And he told me how, like in elementary, like, from 5th grade to 6th grade, everybody was making hella fun of him because he didn't have no drip. Like, his clothes wasn't hard. And he came home crying about it one day, told his mama. His mama showed him a paycheck, took him to the mall, dropped her whole paycheck on his closet, right? He came to school with drip. Now they on him because he fat. He couldn't win. He couldn't get loose. He was always just the fucking butt of the joke. In every friend group he ever found himself in, there was one that he was comfortable enough with to ask them, like, hey, like, do they be frying me when I'm not around? And I was that one out of I was that one. Fast forward, he ended up trying to get at one of my friends. She don't like him. She aired him out on Instagram. It was bad. All these fucking screenshots of everything he ever tried. And it came to a head one night. We outside smoking in her backyard. All of us out there smoking. And she asked this nigga if she could wear his jacket. Bear in mind, we like fucking 20. And she asked this nigga if she could wear his jacket. And he thought, like, oh, I'm in there. We were like fucking 20. Smoking backwoods in the backyard, but it was cold. I don't get it. The shit's beyond me. Whatever. But after that shit, after she posted that whole story and shit, he just never came around us again. He stopped messaging me too. We didn't smoke no more after that. And then I seen on another nigga Snapchat the group of people that he's hanging with now. I know these niggas from high school. Like, I know how they get, bro. I know how they play. I know all of them, bro. Like, I know how that shit get. And it's like, with that group, I fear he may have been walking into a situation that was like the fear that he explained to me and described to me and told me. I feel like he just fucking like, he made a mistake and got like forced into a position where he was walking into exactly what he was afraid of. And then the one dude out of that friend group that he could confide in that got him a job and shit. The me out of that group, he fucking killed him. That nigga used to pick me up from my parents' house. He fucking killed him. Rest in peace, Keon, bro. And I didn't know him very well. But rest in peace, Keon. Speedy. I don't want to talk no more.